Hi, I'm Muhammed Hamdan, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Government to undertake study on fixed-term Parliament Act. And wanted man killed in gunfight with cops in Puchong. Good morning. We begin with this headlining story. The government will look into the suggestion to introduce a fixed-term Parliament bill with a detailed study to be conducted this year. According to Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Sri Azalina Othman Said, the Legal Affairs Division would undertake the study as groundwork for the bill, and the findings will then be used for policy considerations by the Cabinet. In a statement on Sunday, Azalina said that the Legal Affairs Division welcomed the proposal to enact a fixed-term Parliamentary Act, adding that it will conduct the in-depth study, which would include impact assessments, as well as seeking public opinion on the proposed law. In addition, an engagement session with all stakeholders would also be held in the near future. She also dismissed claims that the government's plan to introduce the Fixed-Term Parliament Act was out of desperation. Rather, it reflects the commitment by the unity government to respect the electoral mandate and democratic processes, as well as to ensure political stability amid geopolitical uncertainties. She also said that there were many countries that practice fixed parliamentary terms with a timeline agreed upon for elections to ensure political and economic stability and to prevent power grab attempts that could harm their parliamentary democracy system. On Saturday, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Hamidi had called for a bill to be drafted to ensure that a government must complete its 5-year term. He said this would prevent the recurrence of instances where the Prime Minister was changed 3 times during the 14th Parliament term. A man believed to be a wanted criminal died in a shootout with the police in Taman Puchong Prima in Puchong, Selangor on Sunday. State Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan said the suspect, a local man, has 7 previous criminal records as well as 6 relating to drug offences. According to authorities, the suspect was killed in the gunfight with cops in front of the Sri Akasya apartment building at 3:49 p.m. Investigations by the Subang Jaya District Police Criminal Investigation Department are still underway. Checks showed a stretch of the road had been cordoned off as forensic personnel have started to examine the scene from 5:30 p.m. A police vehicle also arrived at the scene and later left with the victim's body at about 6:15 p.m. Police also advised the public against circulating a video of the incident, which has since gone viral on social media, to avoid causing alarm. The 39-second video clip of the incident showed several men shouting at residents, apparently telling them to stay in before a single gunshot is heard. The Yang di-Pertuan Besar of Negeri Sembilan, Tuanku Mukhris Tuanku Munawir, has emphasised the importance of rejecting negative elements that could undermine unity and harmony to ensure that moral and social stability, according to religious values, can be further strengthened. Therefore, he called on the people to understand and appreciate the customs and cultures of Malaysia's diverse races to promote prosperity, especially in Negeri Sembilan.
Betul menyuruh kepada semua rakyat untuk mempertingkatkan tali persahabatan dan percampuran di kalangan masyarakat majmuk melalui berbagai aktiviti seperti gotong royong, sukan dan kunjungan rumah terbuka.
Tuanku Mukhris said this at the investiture ceremony of state awards and medals in conjunction with his 76th birthday celebration at Istana Besar Sri Menanti on Sunday. He also noted the positive economic achievements of the state with a strong gross domestic product (GDP) growth rate and robust state revenue collection. During the ceremony, 473 individuals were honoured with state awards and medals, with Menteri Besar Datuk Sri Aminuddin Harun leading the list of recipients. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim congratulated Tuanku Mukhris on the ruler's 76th birthday. In a Facebook posting on Sunday, Anwar prayed that Tuanku Mukhris, Tunku Ampuan Besar Tuanku Aisyah Rohani Tengku Besar Mahmud and the entire royal family will always be blessed and granted good health, prosperity and sovereignty. The royal wedding reception of Brunei's Prince Abdul Mateen Bolkiah and his wife Dayang Anisha Rosnah took place at Istana Nurul Iman in Bandar Seri Begawan on Sunday morning. It was attended by royal guests, including the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa bin Shah and Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. The royal wedding, steeped in tradition, started at 10:10 a.m. at Balai Singgasana Indrabuana. Distinguished leaders from ASEAN nations were also present to witness the glittering ceremony, including Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and his wife Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail. Other notable attendees included Indonesian President Joko Widodo, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. Prince Mateen, who is the 10th child of Sultan Hassan al-Bolkiah, and Dayang Anisha, the granddaughter of the Sultan's key advisors, tied the knot at the Omar Ali Saifuddin Mosque last Thursday. Israel's relentless attack on Gaza has entered into its 100th day, with fighting continuing in central and southern Gaza between the Zionist regime and Hamas, as the UN reiterates warnings that the enclave is on the verge of famine. According to Gaza's health ministry, at least 125 Palestinians killed and 265 wounded over the past 24 hours. An overnight strike in the city of Rafah in southern Gaza killed 14 Palestinians, including a 2-year-old girl. Clashes also continued in the Al-Bureij refugee camp between Hamas and the Israeli military, as well as in Khan Yunis, as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed to continue the fighting, saying, "No one will stop us," during a news conference. Meanwhile, in a statement issued marking the 100 days, UNRWA's Commissioner General Philip Lazzarani stated that this has been the largest displacement of the Palestinian people since 1948. He added that humanitarian aid alone will not be sufficient to reverse a looming famine. Meanwhile, pro-Palestinian protesters took to the streets around the world on the Day of Action, calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza as the Zionist aggression reached the 100-day mark.
And we need to stop now. There has been over 23,000 people murdered, slaughtered in Gaza so far, and that does not include the people who will die as a result of their injuries, because the IDF is killing healthcare workers and destroying a healthcare system out there.
As we are marching right now, there's probably bombs, there's probably guns, there's probably frightened children, women, men, and it's a whole nation that is under siege.
There is no excuse for genocide, no matter what. I mean, if this is going on in any part of the world, any religion, any people, we will be against it. As humans, we cannot tolerate genocide against anybody.
That's the most shocking part about it. These babies, all these babies, dying and being killed, murdered, senselessly.
The relentless Zionist aggression has so far killed at least 23,843 people in Palestine, more than 10,000 of whom were children, while 60,317 others have been wounded. Moving on, the Federation of School Bus Association Malaysia has warned parents of possible fare hike when school reopens in March. Its president, Amali Munif Rahmat, said parents, especially those in the Klang Valley, should anticipate a monthly rise between 10 ringgit and 20 ringgit. Amali said that while there have been requests from operators for a fare increase, the association can only provide guidelines and advice. He added that the decision ultimately rests on the consensus reached between school bus operators and parents. He also said that the decision to consider a fare hike is attributed to the government's implementation of the minimum wage of 1,500 ringgit in July last year, coupled with a surge in prices for imported spare parts and the depreciation of the ringgit. Despite the potential fare increase, he emphasized that it remains relatively low, especially when considering the average of 44 bus rides per month for a student. The association on December 1st last year had said operators have the autonomy to set their own rates for services following the government's decision in 2015 to cease regulating school bus fares. Indonesia's Merapi volcano erupts again. News from the foreign front when we return.
Alif Sata. Ada twist dia kat ujung, nantikan.
Menyeramkan.
Yes, dia memang seram. Saya banyak kali ambil yang bekas popcorn tu tutup mata.
Mengerikan sangat-sangat. Jump scare all the time.
Sentuhan ni masih ada, berbisa lagi. Saya bagi 10++.
10, no, 110. Memang sangat-sangat best, tak ada bosan langsung.
Kalau 10, saya bagi dia 7.
7/10.
8/10.
Suara kita sentiasa mengiringi setiap gerak pukulan mereka. Tidak kira di kala jatuh atau berdiri. Laungan demi laungan, sorakan gemuruh peminat menjadi pembakar semangat. Juara yang bakal diangkat. Ayo kita satukan suara. Julangkan juara kita. Dan gemilangkan lagi sukan badminton negara.
Terbaru ditonton.
Wah nak beli rezek dia. Wah you PSR je dia. Kami nak pergi jumpa bos Anan merangkak future wife dia. Oi Allah.
Nan. Apa kata kalau nanti manja nak kat sini?
Tak apa Babi. Lu jangan risau. Biar Wah yang naik belakang lu.
Abang.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Welcome back to the foreign front. A volcano erupted in southwestern Iceland on Sunday after a series of earthquakes in the early morning, threatening to overcome the nearby coastal town of Grindavik with streams of slow-moving lava. However, Icelandic President Gudi Thorlacius Johansson said the lava posed no threat to human life, but could still wreak damage on the town. The lava was about 450 meters from the town, officials said. On Saturday, Iceland's National Commissioner of Police ordered residents in the coastal fishing town, first evacuated in November, to evacuate again by Monday night after volcanic fissures opened on roads in the area. Following the eruption, police have raised the alert level, the agency said, adding that an Icelandic Coast Guard helicopter has also been deployed to monitor the situation. Grindavik, about 70 kilometers southwest of Iceland's capital city, Reykjavik, is also home to Iceland's famed Blue Lagoon, which draws tourists to its streaming geothermal water and is one of the country's most visited attractions. Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupted again on Sunday, spewing smoke and ash high into the air, just 6 weeks after a fatal eruption. The volcano in West Sumatra province erupted at least twice by 3:37 a.m. local time. According to the Merapi Volcano Observation Post, the eruption recorded an ash column about 1,300 meters high from its peak, followed by ash rain. Sprays of ash from the eruption were then seen blanketing roads and vehicles in nearby villages. However, no casualties were recorded. At least 100 residents have been evacuated since Friday after Indonesian authorities raised the alert level of the volcano from level 2 to level 3, or the second highest level. In Western Australia, hundreds of firefighters on Sunday battled an out-of-control bushfire near the capital Perth, prompting authorities to urge residents in the fire's path to flee. According to authorities, more than 25 bushfires were burning in the vast state, with residents in the rural shires of Gingin and nearby Chittering at risk from the fast-moving blaze. It added that 240 firefighters were battling the blaze, which was at emergency level, the highest threat rating. The nation's weather forecaster, in the meantime, had also issued a warning for extreme fire danger in some parts of Western Australia state amid a heatwave alert in place since Saturday. Moving on, China said reunification with Taiwan remained inevitable after President-elect William Lai Ching-te won the country's pivotal election on the self-ruled island that Beijing claims as its own. In a statement issued after Lai emerged as the winner, Beijing's Taiwan Affairs Office spokesperson Chen Binhua said that the vote will not impede the inevitable trend of China's reunification. Chen said the results of the vote showed that Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, cannot represent the mainstream public opinion on the island. He added that the vote will not change the basic landscape and development trend of cross-strait relations, and that Beijing firmly opposes separatist activities aimed at Taiwan independence as well as foreign interference. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden said that the United States does not support the independence of Taiwan. The Biden administration has feared that the election, transition, and the new administration would escalate conflict with Beijing. North Korea fired a suspected intermediate-range ballistic missile on Sunday, days after Pyongyang staged live fire exercises near the tense maritime border with the South. Seoul's Joint Chiefs of Staff said the military detected one suspected intermediate-range ballistic missile launched from the Pyongyang area towards the East Sea around 2:55 local time. They added the missile flew 1,000 kilometers and that authorities in Seoul, Washington and Tokyo were analyzing their specifications. Japan's Coast Guard also confirmed a suspected missile launched by North Korea, citing information from the country's defense ministry and warning vessels to take care. The apparent test comes days after North Korea conducted a series of rare live fire drills near the maritime border with the South, prompting counter exercises and evacuation orders from some South Korean border islands. National Shuttler's disappointing outing raises countless questions. The 2024 Malaysia Open after this breather.
Projek mimpi saya.
Projek mimpi saya.
Nak sambung belajar. Nak ada kilang sambal.
Nak melancong.
Projek mimpi saya nak kembangkan bisnes.
Projek mimpi saya nak miliki suria.
Terima kasih atas penyertaan rakyat Malaysia dalam projek mimpi. Bermacam-macam jenis impian dan aspirasi rakyat Malaysia yang telah dikongsikan dan akhirnya kami sudah memilih seorang pemenang. Saksikan keputusan pemenang projek mimpi di semua media sosial dan laman sesawang Sirap Rimau.
Projek mimpi, kongsi impian, cipta inspirasi.
Tanyalah Ustaz setiap Selasa, 2 Januari, pakaian ketika solat. 9 dan 16 Januari, darah haid bahagian 1 dan 2. 23 Januari, darah istihadah. 30 Januari, wiladah dan nifas. Tanyalah Ustaz biar tahu jangan keliru di TV3 dan TV9. Stream juga melalui Tuntun.
Ini cikgu bantu lah. Okey. kenapakah kau diciptakan menjadi manusia? Bukankah lebih baik kalau kau dilahirkan menjadi haiwan?
Akibat teruk didera, buah pinggang kanak-kanak malang itu disahkan rosak teruk.
Nak kata bau bangkai pun lebih teruk daripada bau bangkai lagi dah. Sebab mayat dalam proses mereput.
Welcome back. Badminton, the 2024 Malaysia Open. The men's singles crown remained in Danish hands as Anders Antonsen won the title with an upset victory over China's world number 6 Shi Yuqi on Sunday. Antonsen, ranked world number 9, stunned Yuqi 21-14, 21-13 in what he described as one of the biggest victories of his career. His victory backed him a medal, a trophy, and a $91,000 prize money. In another match, women's single shuttler An Se-young became the first South Korean to clinch the event title after defeating 4 times champions Tai Tzu-ying of Taiwan in a 3-set thriller. Se-young had a shaky start after losing the first set 10-21. The reigning world champion, however, bounced back to claim the next 2 sets with a 21-10, 21-18 win after a hard-fought 58-minute battle. In another match, world number 2 pair Yuta Watanabe and Arisa Higashino of Japan created history by winning their first mixed doubles title after defeating South Korean pair Kim Won-ho and Jeong Na-eun. The Japanese pair demonstrated their dominance and needed only 37 minutes to overcome the 7th seed from South Korea 21-18, 21-15. In the men's doubles category, world number 1 Liang Wei-keng Wang Chang of China defeated Indian duo Satwik Sairaj Ranki Reddy Chirag Shetty. The Chinese pair fought back from a set down to claim a 9-21, 21-18, 21-17 victory over the Indian pair. Still on the 2024 Malaysia Open, the recent campaign for the national shuttlers concluded in disappointment after the national shuttlers fell across unexpected challenges that kept them from advancing to the stage that Malaysians can be proud of. Out of the 15 national shuttlers who took part in this prestigious event, only 2 pairs from the men's doubles category managed to advance as far as the quarterfinals.
Expectations were high for the national shuttlers to perform brilliantly on the international stage, with home fans believing in their ability to compete with the world's best. However, as the tournament unfolded, tough battles, injuries and intense opponents placed the national shuttlers under pressure, leading to a string of tightly contested matches. The nation's hope in the men's singles event was shattered when national hopes Li Zicha and Se-young crashed out as early as the first round. 25-year-old Zicha struggled to maintain the momentum and fell to China's Lu Guangzhou, while world number 15 Se-young suffered an unfortunate back injury and was forced to retire. The women's doubles event also saw the biggest letdown in the tournament after Pearly Tan and Tina suffered a shock first-round exit, while mixed doubles pairs Tan Kian Ming, Lai Pei-jing and Man Wei-chong, T.Y. Kun, as well as women's doubles pairs Anna Ching Yik Cheong, Teo Mei Sing, Goh Pei Ki, Lo Yin Yuan and Vivian Hu, Lim Chiu Sien were all knocked out of the competition. Meanwhile, in the mixed doubles second round, all 3 pairs, including world number 9 Chen Dang-che, Toh Yi-wei, Goh Sun-huat, Chivon Lai, as well as Chang Peng-soon, Chia Yi-si, bowed out early. Women's singles shuttler Goh Jin-wei had also failed to display a performance that secured a victory in the first round, as she too crashed out of the competition. While men's doubles pair Goh Zifei, Nur Izzuddin lost to teammates Aaron Chia, So Wei-yik. Undeterred, home fans swiftly redirected their expectations towards the men's doubles event, hoping for a turnaround after Aaron Chia, So Wei-yik and Ong Yu-sin, Teo Yi-yi being the only representatives to make it to the quarterfinals. However, the misery continued as the men's doubles event also concluded with an unexpected loss.
Mana saya pressure itu Aaron dan Ayi, dan di situ Aaron Ayi banyak buat unforced errors lah. Nah, ini memang saya performance secara keseluruhan yang saya bisa. Secara overall memang saya rasa juga Aaron dan Ayi juga punya target juga pergi lebih jauh dari quarter final. Jadi untuk setakat ini memang kita harus mengakui bahwa kita belum puas lah dari hasil yang kita dapat hari inilah.
The back-to-back defeats have proven that the national shuttlers must significantly develop and enhance several aspects of the performance in order to go forward and regain their competitive advantage. Once again, disappointment looms for the nation after none of our national shuttlers made it to the final stage in the 2024 Malaysia Open. This despite the advantage of playing on home ground and having the support of thousands of passionate local fans. Fans were also hopeful that the national team could finally end their title drought this year, but the national shuttlers proved otherwise, suffering humiliating defeats in this prestigious home event. As we reflect on the tournament, the lack of consistency and resilience of the national shuttlers serve as a reminder to the home fans that the national team may not be among the world's best in badminton. Adrenali, Nightline, TV3.
And when Nightline returns, man injured after driving car off car park's second floor.
It's very scary.
Korang kena tanya kenapa cerita ni ada banyak plot twist.
Sangat menyeramkan.
Memang buatkan saya terkejut dan kawan-kawan kiri kanan pun terkejut.
Filem ni banyak seram.
Boleh dikategorikan 2024 paling seram.
Amazing. Puas hati, I boleh kasih 10.
Jangan lupa saksikan Anak Perjanjian Syaitan 2, 4 Januari. Tak! Aku bukan kau! Kau setan!
Dia masa dulu dia perah susu masam dibubuh dalam pasu, dia panggil dadih. Lepas tu sekarang ni dia panggil susu masam. Orang KL panggil yogurt dalam buluh. Dia masin, dia pedas, dia lacakkan liur orang tua-tua.
Zaman 80-an dulu, kayu getah ni tak ada nilai. Jadi diorang lebih pada buat kayu api.
Jenis-jenis kayu yang kita pakai di sini, kayu getah nombor 1 lah. Dia kualiti dia lebih baik pada kayu yang lain. Sebatang pokok tu semua kita gunakanlah.
Stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Eksploitasi buruh bawah umur.
Berapa umur? Dimangsa, Tuan. 13.
Remaja warga asing jadi sasaran.
Duduk mana tempat duduk?
Belakang.
Ha? Belakang. Apa ada? Baju?
Semua baju.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream secara HD di Tonton.
Thanks for staying with us. In Selangor, a Form 5 student lost his life after the motorcycle he was riding was involved in an accident with 3 other motorcycles on the Guthrie Highway heading to Shah Alam early on Sunday. Police said the victim, identified as 18-year-old Adi Abdulati from Puchong, died in the 4 a.m. incident due to severe head and body injuries. It was believed that the 4 motorcyclists had suddenly lost control of their vehicles and brushed against each other while traversing a winding uphill stretch of the highway. This caused Adi to be flung onto a highway metal railing, killing him on the spot. Sungai Buloh Police Chief Superintendent Syafaatun Abu Bakar confirmed the incident, adding that the other motorcyclists involved fled the scene, leaving their vehicles behind before authorities arrived. She also said that the identities of the riders are still unknown. However, efforts are underway to track down these individuals. The victim's body has been sent to Sungai Buloh Hospital for post-mortem, and the case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. In Selangor, a man survived with injuries when the car he was driving fell from the second floor of an office building in Setia Alam early on Sunday. Shah Alam Police Chief ACP Muhammad Ibrahim said the Traffic Investigation and Enforcement Division received a report on the incident at 1:06 a.m. Initial investigations found that the 41-year-old man had lost control of the BMW car before hitting into a Pro 2 Myvi and Proton Persona parked on the second floor. The victim's car then rammed into a pillar in the parking lot before falling. A team of firemen from the Kapar fire station was deployed to the scene after being alerted to the incident. However, the victim had already been extricated and brought to Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital in Klang for treatment by members of the public before the firefighters arrived. The cause of the accident is still being investigated under the Road Transport Act. And as we wrap up this edition of Nightline, let's take a look as hot air balloons of all shapes and colours filled the skies of Santiago as Chile hosted the International Host Air Balloon Festival for the first time. With that, I'm Muhammed, Ahmad Hamdan. Thanks for tuning in and have a great weekend.